Hi, welcome. Today we're looking at a parable in the book of John, chapter 15. Jesus, the true vine. We shall look at this parable as a design and look at the meaning behind the parable, which is the fulfillment. Just like a man going out to build his house, he made the design of the house, then he built the house according to the design. So the way of God is similar. God has given us this parable as a design, and we shall explore the fulfillment today. Now let us read the parable. I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch of mine that bears no fruit, he takes away, and every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. You are already made clean by the word which I have spoken to you. Abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit by itself, unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. He who abides in me, and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. If a man does not abide in me, he is cast forth as a branch and withers, and the branches are gathered, thrown into the fire and burned. If you abide in me, and my words abide in you, ask whatever you will, and it shall be done for you. By this my Father is glorified, that you bear much fruit, and so prove to be my disciples. So this is a nice parable, and there is a special connection between the vine and the branches, and that is the design. The fulfillment is a special connection that I'm going to talk about. But first, I'm going to tell what's my Bible study said. So God the Father is the vine dresser, and he trimmed Jesus Christ. We pruned Jesus Christ, and then after that, the apostle bear a lot of fruit by starting the church and evangelizing and converting a lot of people. So basically, at first look, that what the parable is, but the parable also for us in a way that like God is like that with us. God can prune us maybe when we have trial, persecution, and we bear fruit more for God after that. So that can fit into us individually. Second, I would like to also make the verse 3. You are already made clean by the word which I have spoken to you. So therefore, it's like a confirmation what Jesus is saying. Whatever Jesus said is very powerful, because the word of God has power to clean a person spiritually. So the apostle had been cleansed by the word spoken by the mouth of Jesus. And also just look at verse 6. Whoever not connecting with God, connecting with Jesus, will be thrown into the fire and burned. Therefore, we have to be careful that we ourselves make sure we are really is connecting with Jesus. So today, now I would like to focusing on the true meaning behind this parable, which is the special connection. So the vine and the branches are specially connected. Just as how we understand it, there is also a very special connection between Jesus Christ and his people on earth here, his followers, his believers, or his bride on earth. And to understand this, we need to first look at the parable of the 10 pounds. So a pound is given and the person multiply it and get more, make 10 pounds more. So when Jesus rose to life, all the inheritance of the heavenly kingdom belong to him. God the Father gives him all the inheritance. So Jesus Christ is ever living, the source of everlasting life. And when you are multiplying your pounds, meaning you are collecting heavenly treasure, you're collecting more spiritual, supernatural life, and that come in a form of the glory of the star, the glory of the sun, the glory of the moon. So I have shared with you this verse before, but again I'm going to share it again from 1 Corinthians chapter 15. There are celestial bodies and there are terrestrial bodies, but the glory of the terrestrial is one and the glory of the terrestrial is another. There is one glory of the sun, another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars, for stars differ from stars in glory. So if you think of the parable of the 10 pound, you are collecting more of the glory of the star, the moon, the glory of the sun. And if you have this, your spiritual body is beautiful and your spiritual body is good, and that is a special connection, like the branch and the branches and the vine and the branches, because Jesus Christ is ever living, and Jesus Christ, when you have this glory, you are connecting with Jesus in a very special way. Your spiritual body is alive, and that is a very special connection. Second point that I would like to make is that Jesus Christ is the bread of life. So John chapter 6, where Jesus himself said, I am the bread of life. And when he said that, he meant spiritually, because look at the design in the Old Testament. The people of God, the Israelite people in the wilderness, every day they received the manna rained down from heaven. Jesus Christ is the fulfillment of that manna, and he is also from heaven because he descended from heaven. He is the bread of life. And that's why at the Last Supper, while they were celebrating the Passover, he took bread and he said, this is my body, because he is that heavenly bread. And so in the Old Testament, in the design, in the temple, the holy place, there always bread, because God has in his mind to use bread as something for supernatural benefit. That's why he rained down from heaven the manna for the people, to sustain them on their physical journey to the promised land. And so at the fulfillment time, God also rained down bread from heaven to sustain the people spiritually. And that's why Jesus said, I am the bread of life, because he is that special bread. And this bread is supernatural. It's no longer like the manna, because the manna is only the design. The fulfillment is supernatural bread. When we eat this bread, our glory of the star, the glory of the moon, and the glory of the sun is being renewed and refreshed. So I don't know why spiritually we have to be renewed and refreshed. Basically, just only, I understand it's only in terms of the design. In the Old Testament, the people of God had to have that manna every day to be able to be alive, to live physically. So spiritually, we also need to have the heavenly bread for us to be renewed and refreshed, just because while we're on earth here, I think heaven and earth, there's like a chasm, there's like a gap, and therefore we need to have that supernatural bread to sustain us spiritually, to renew us spiritually. And so that is the second point of the connection that I would like to share with you. So share the connection. The first connection is collecting heavenly treasure, the glory of the star, the moon, and the sun. And the second is for it to be renewed and refreshed by receiving the supernatural bread, which is Jesus Christ Himself is that bread. And so therefore with those 2 points, we have a very special connection with Jesus, just like the vine and the branches. And that is the fulfillment of this parable today. So thank you for joining me.